Welcome, everyone. We live in a world where the idea of control is ingrained in almost every aspect of our lives. From an early age, we are taught to plan, strategize, and mold the world around us according to our desires. We are told that success is the result of controlling our circumstances, manipulating outcomes, and exerting our will over life itself. Yet, beneath this notion of control lies a simple truth that we often overlook. Control is, for the most part, an illusion. Life in its essence is not something that can be controlled. It unfolds naturally, like the changing seasons or the flowing river. To believe that we have absolute control over what happens is to misunderstand the nature of existence. We can plan, we can hope, and we can act with intention, but the outcomes are never fully within our grasp. There's always an element of uncertainty, a variable beyond our comprehension or control. The most profound decision you will ever make is to recognize this. Life does not need to be controlled. It needs to be experienced. Once you let go of the need to dominate the flow of events and people, you begin to discover a new kind of freedom, a freedom that comes from aligning yourself with the natural flow of life rather than resisting it. When we insist on controlling every outcome, we create tension within ourselves. We impose rigid expectations on life, and when those expectations are not met, we feel frustrated, anxious, or defeated. Now, this is because control is born from fear. The fear that without our intervention, things will fall apart or spiral out of our favor. But this is where the illusion reveals itself. For life is not something that falls apart when left to its own devices. In fact, life is far more intelligent, far more intricate in its design than we could ever imagine. The river doesn't need to be told how to flow. It finds its path naturally. The seasons don't need to be instructed to change. They shift in perfect harmony with nature's cycles. In the same way, life knows how to unfold. When we surrender the need to control every detail, we tap into the flow of life's wisdom. Now, this does not mean passivity. Letting go of control does not mean giving up or resigning yourself to a life of inaction. On the contrary, it is an active decision to participate in life fully, but without the burden of forcing it to conform to your limited expectations. It is the art of flowing with life, much like a surfer riding the wave. The surfer doesn't control the ocean. Instead, they learn to move in harmony with it, using the wave's natural energy to propel them forward. In the same way, when you align yourself with the flow of life, you find that things often fall into place without the need for force or manipulation. Opportunities arise organically, and challenges are met with grace rather than resistance. You begin to see that life's unpredictability is not something to fear, but something to embrace. The decision to relinquish control is one of the most liberating choices you could make. It allows you to move through life with greater ease, with less stress and anxiety. You no longer need to micromanage every detail or worry incessantly about outcomes. Instead, you learn to trust the process. You trust that life, in all its complexity, is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't always align with your immediate desires. This trust is not blind faith. It is an understanding that the universe operates on a level of intelligence that far surpasses our individual capacity to comprehend. When you let go of control, you are not abandoning your power. You are shifting your power. Instead of trying to bend life to your will, you become a co-creator with life, moving in sync with its rhythms, responding to its signals, and allowing it to guide you toward where you need to be. Ultimately, the illusion of control is a product of the mind, born from the ego's desire for certainty and security. But life is not about certainty, it's about flow. And the decision to flow with life, rather than control it, is the key to true freedom, peace, and fulfillment. It is in this flow that you discover the beauty and mystery of existence. The joy of being alive in this moment, without the need to dominate, but simply to experience. In a world that constantly pulls our attention toward the future, we are often led to believe that the most important decisions in life are those that shape what is to come. We think that by planning meticulously and striving toward a distant goal, we will somehow guarantee happiness, success, or fulfillment. Yet amid all this future-oriented thinking, we forget one of the most essential truths of life. The present moment is all we ever truly have. The decision to be fully present is perhaps the most impactful choice you can make, because it shifts your entire perspective on life. It moves you from a place of resistance to one of acceptance. When you let go of your rigid expectations, you are no longer tied to a single outcome. You become free to experience the present moment as it is, rather than as you think it should be. This freedom brings a deep sense of inner peace, because you are no longer constantly struggling against reality. You are no longer trying to force life into a narrow box of your own making. Letting go also allows you to develop a deeper sense of detachment, not in the sense of indifference, but in the sense of not being emotionally bound to a specific result. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or lose interest in what happens in your life. It means that your sense of self-worth, happiness, and fulfillment is no longer contingent upon achieving a particular goal or outcome. You recognize that life is dynamic, fluid, and ever-changing, and you are willing to adapt and flow with it. One of the greatest gifts of letting go is the discovery of spontaneity. When you release the need to control, life becomes more vibrant, more alive, and more surprising. You begin to notice opportunities and experiences that you may have overlooked when you were fixated on a specific outcome. You become more open to the unexpected, and in doing so, you allow new possibilities to enter your life. Letting go creates space for the unknown to reveal itself in ways that can bring joy, creativity, and fulfillment that you may not have anticipated. This shift also affects your relationships. Often, we place expectations on others, believing that they should behave in certain ways to meet our needs or validate our sense of self. But people are complex, and they too are navigating their own journeys. By letting go of rigid expectations of how others should act or respond, you give them the freedom to be themselves, and you free yourself from the burden of disappointment when they don't meet your expectations. This brings a sense of ease and harmony to your relationships, as you are no longer trying to mold others to fit your desires. Letting go doesn't mean you abandon your goals or give up on pursuing your dreams. It simply means that you are no longer attached to the outcome. You can still move forward with intention, but you do so with a sense of flow rather than force. You trust that as you take steps toward your desires, the right opportunities will present themselves, and if they don't, something else will. This attitude allows you to move through life with greater resilience, because you are not crushed by setbacks or detours. Instead, you see them as part of the natural unfolding of your path. This decision to let go ultimately leads to a deeper sense of contentment. When you are no longer attached to how things should be, you begin to appreciate life as it is. You start to find beauty and meaning in the present moment, rather than waiting for some future achievement to bring you happiness. You realize that true peace and fulfillment come not from external circumstances, but from within. By letting go, you free yourself from the constant striving and grasping that characterizes so much of human experience, and you discover the joy of simply being. In essence, the decision to let go is a decision to align yourself with the natural flow of life. It is about recognizing that life is not something to be controlled, but something to be experienced. When you let go, you release the need to force outcomes, and instead trust in the wisdom of the universe. You move from a mindset of fear and scarcity to one of trust and abundance. You become more present, more open, and more at peace. The irony is that when you let go, you often find that life begins to flow more effortlessly in your favor. By releasing the tight grip of control, you allow the currents of life to carry you in directions that may surprise and delight you. You become aligned with the natural rhythms of the universe, and in doing so, you find that everything you truly need comes to you in the right time and in the right way. Letting go is not a one-time decision, but an ongoing practice. It requires patience, self-awareness, and a willingness to trust in the unknown. But as you cultivate this practice, you will discover a profound sense of freedom and inner peace that comes from no longer needing to control the outcome of every situation. You will learn to dance with life, moving in harmony with its rhythms, and in doing so, you will find that the most impactful decision you can make is to simply let go and trust in the unfolding of your journey. Life, at its core, is a journey through uncertainty. No matter how much we plan or how much we try to predict the future, the truth is that life is inherently unpredictable. Every day we face situations that unfold in ways we couldn't have anticipated. We are constantly navigating the unknown, and this can